Image maps are perhaps maybe the most advanced topic that this course is going to cover. Except I'm going to teach it in a much easier way that will be so simple that it's not going to be that difficult at all. First, you have to know what an image map is. So an image map is kind of like you have an image, and then in that image, there's clickable areas. Kind of like having hrefs or A tags with hrefs inside the image. So let's just say you have an image, and then when you click on it, it takes you to a different page. Okay, but in that example I just gave, you click on the image. If you click anywhere on the image, it'll take you to the same page. So what you can do with an image map is create clickable zones in the image that, depending on where you click, it'll take you to a different page. So before we get into the code here, I'm going to show you an example. So if you just go to Google, I'm here on Google, and you say HTML image maps. Okay, so here, the map tag. Try it yourself. So right here on the side, they have a little thing right here. So if you click, so this is the image. There's a sun. I don't know what that is. Mercury and Venus. So if you click in space, nothing happens. But if you click on the sun, you see the cursor. It's a pointer right now, and when it gets over the sun, it changes to a hand. And then when I leave the sun, it changes back. So when I click on the sun, it takes me to a new page where it's the sun. And Mercury is really small, but if I click on it, it takes me to a page where I see Mercury. Whoops. Okay, run again. And here, if I click on Venus, it takes me to a page where I see a picture of Venus. So this is essentially what an image map is. Now, if you look at the code, it's kind of complex, especially these chords. So yeah, this is kind of complex. So there's an image, and how it works is the source you already know. There's nothing special going on here. The width and height, also, there's nothing special going on here. Also here, the planets, you can totally get rid of this. It's not useful here. So same thing, this will still work. But the use map attribute, and it specifies that it's using a map called planet map. And here there's a map tag, and it's named planet map. So this image right here, which is this whole image, it's being told to use this map. So then if you look at the map, and then inside the map, there are 3 area tags, and each area tag has a shape. Shape values could be rect, circle, it's not here, but poly, and I believe default. So what the default shape would do, I don't even know if it's a shape. I believe it is a shape. What that is, basically, if you were to click anywhere that isn't on an area, you'd be clicking on a default. So for example, right here, when I click on the sun, it takes me to the sun. And when I click on, I already did this, but this is sort of just a review. When I click on Mercury, it takes me to Mercury. But I keep doing that. I keep going back, hoping to see this page. Anyways, so what a default shape would do. Now you could see this right here, actually. So area. Where is it? Okay. I just want to make sure I'm getting it right. Yeah, area tag, shape. Yeah, so the default. So the default, what that would be is if you clicked anywhere that isn't on any of these things. So there's the sun, the Mercury, and Venus. And if I didn't click on any of those, if I had another area tag here with the shape being default, it would take me to a default location, but it's not using that. But I'm just explaining that there's 4 different values that the shape could have: rect, circle, default, and poly. And then you could also put a title here. I'm used to using title. So you could say sun. Let's run this. When you hover over the sun, it says, you can see that it says it's, I'll put it here too. Whoa. So you can see it more and better now. So you click on Mercury, it takes you to Mercury. Anyways, so then there's the coordinates, which this is where it gets kind of complicated, because look at all these numbers here. If you change these numbers, like I'm going to go ahead and change this. 42. Okay, so now if I click right here, it's no longer in the proper zone now, the shape. So this is saying make a rectangle, and these first two values is kind of like a point. Like imagine playing, you know, that pin the tail on the donkey thing where you just point somewhere. So that's, you would put a point anywhere, and that's these two first things. These two first numbers is a coordinate to a single point, and that point will be the top left corner of the rectangle. And then these are the height and width. So this being 0, 0 says go up here. So you could see right now, you can see it being highlighted a little bit. So then if I take the, so you could see something right here, that this is the height, and it's equal to the height of the image. So if I just change this to 26, now you could see, I don't know if you could see it, but you could probably see it if you look really close. I'm clicking down right now, and the outline of the sun box, or that rect box, is outlined. Then when I let go, it finally goes. But here you could see the outline of Venus being there. So that's a small circle. And then that one, which is really small. So in the next video, we're gonna make our own little image map.